Time for business, and I'm shouting taxi for Kate, or perhaps it should be an Uber. Kate's starting with some developing news about the so-called gig economy. Kate?
Developing and potentially groundbreaking for the industry, Mark. Uber has said it will reclassify its drivers in the UK as workers rather than independent contractors as of Wednesday. It means that more than 70,000 drivers in the UK will receive some benefits, including a minimum wage, holiday time, and pension contributions. They won't get full employee benefits. It follows a UK Supreme Court ruling over the matter, and it could now spark a debate about working time in such platforms. It's a huge concession from the ride-sharing app, which has been under growing pressure around the world. In the US, voters in California decided to exempt Uber and similar apps from state employment laws. With the decision in the UK, it could now be the beginning of a global shift. On Wednesday, the European Commission is due to outline its vision for a digital green certificate, which would collate vaccine and test information. But the World Health Organization has been warning governments to be exceptionally careful when it comes to vaccine passports, as Luke Trago reports.
This is what could be awaiting German tourists this Easter, after its disease control agency removed the Balearic Islands from a list of risk zones last weekend. While Spanish citizens are still facing their own travel restrictions, Madrid was upbeat, particularly with tourism worth over 12% of the nation's GDP before the pandemic, and the idea of COVID travel passes now waiting in the wings.
Bajo ese marco y, por tanto, lo que queremos es, efectivamente, como usted bien indica, facilitar esa movilidad lo antes posible. Y, efectivamente, para determinados sectores es fundamental, como es el sector turístico.
Greece, too, has said it would welcome vaccinated tourists. However, with global vaccination programs still gaining pace, the World Health Organization doesn't yet think COVID passports are justified.
We have to be exceptionally careful, because right now we're dealing with a tremendously inequitous situation in the world, where the likelihood of you being offered or getting a vaccine is very much to do with the country you live in, very much to do with the level of wealth.
Other nations are moving on in their own way, with the US hopeful of a return to travel by July the 4th, and China, shut to most foreigners for a year now, easing up.
为了有序恢复中外人员往来，中方对已经接种中国生产的新冠肺炎疫苗，并持疫苗接种证明材料的外籍人员提供来华签证便利。
Beijing has for now only approved 4 of its own vaccines for domestic use, while struggling to have them accepted in the West with a lack of transparency over test data.
Let's check in on the day's trading action now. A mixed picture on Wall Street. The Dow Jones lagging into the red after Monday's record close. It lost about 130 points by the closing bell there. Weaker than expected retail data in the United States, down about 3% for the month of February, was largely shrugged off by investors who are now focusing on the Federal Reserve's two-day policy meeting, which has kicked off today. The major European indices closed higher. The FTSE 100 up about 0.8% in London. Shares of AstraZeneca, meanwhile, rose over 3.5% in London, despite that wave of European countries suspending use of its COVID-19 vaccine. Volkswagen is to open 6 new electric car battery factories in Europe as it expects sales of electric cars to jump by 2030. Shirley Sitbon has more.
Playing catch up with Tesla's new German Gigafactory under construction outside Berlin. Volkswagen is planning to take on Elon Musk's company, building or opening 6 battery factories across Europe with its partner, Northvolt. The German carmaker wants more control over its electric car supply chain and no longer rely on other battery producers. It says it is moving to a more efficient next generation of power cells.
This will make e-cars even more affordable and, as a result, even more attractive. Charging will be as easy as refueling. We are raising the number of fast charging points in Europe by 5 times over the next 4 years.
The company expects that by 2030, the majority of Volkswagen cars sold in Europe, China, and the United States will be electric models. This drive comes after a difficult year for the car industry. Sales were sluggish since the COVID-19 crisis hit the global economy. Volkswagen said it sold 15% fewer cars than the previous year and is cutting costs to boost profits.
In 2021, we will recover from COVID and speed up the change once again.
The company's also trying to move on from the Dieselgate scandal, when the car maker fitted 11 million of its diesel cars with software to cheat emission tests. The former head of Volkswagen is set to go on trial over the scandal next month.
That's all for now, Mark.
That Uber story, Kate, absolutely groundbreaking stuff. Looking forward to hearing more from you later on. Kate Moody with All the Business. Great to see you.